I'm Len Clark of Irish 101 alongside the author Jeff Harrell of the book, As God's Witness, The Death of Knute Rockne. Welcome to Augie's Locker Room, home of our program, where today we're going to talk about Knute Rockne, not the football coach, the innovator. He helped innovate the game of football. And Jeff, we've got some products that Augie has kind of loaned to us for the shore, but he revolutionized the game because of his vision, and a lot of it is still used today.
He absolutely did. When they talk about the greatest coaches in football, they'll bring up, of course, Bill Belichick recently, and I'm going recently now. They'll bring up Bill Belichick. They'll bring up Nick Saban from Alabama. They'll go back to Don Shula, Bear Bryant, Vince Lombardi, George Halas, the greats of the game. Rockne is the greatest football coach in history for this one reason. None of those other coaches I just mentioned actually shaped the football that they use today. Shaped the football. The man not only laid the foundation for football and X's and O's, he actually shaped the ball. The ball in the early 1900s was a more rounded medicine ball type, more of a rugby ball that was very, very awkward, very, very big. You had to use two hands. You
can't put your hands over it.
You couldn't even put your hands over unless you had giant hands. And Rockne and Gus Doré, it's no secret that those two perfected the forward pass in their workouts before the 1913 season. Rockne took that forward pass into his coaching and actually was the first coach to implement the passing scheme as his offensive plan, as an offensive game plan. He had a running game and he had a passing game. Rockne was the first to do that. Well, to make the ball more comfortable for in this case Harry Stuhldreher,
part of the Four Horsemen,
the quarterback for the Four Horsemen, to fit in his hand and make it more comfortable for him to pass. Rockne actually took the ball, streamlined it down to where it could fit into the hand of a quarterback more comfortably, and he inserted an air valve. The first air valve in football was Rockne's innovation, so you could regulate air pressure and size the ball according to your hand. So, as I point out in the book, if it weren't for Knute Rockne, we would never have heard of Deflategate.
And Rockne really helped build some of the sporting good companies that were known to. I want to say, was it Spalding that was the first ball?
I think he was using it through Wilson.
Wilson was the first ball.
He was selling his products through Wilson Sporting Goods. And not only did he do the ball, the pants, he was the first, his pants were the first one to have waist pads and pads in the thighs. He and his cleats, I believe, were these the screw-ons? Because I don't know if those were the screw-ons or not, but and
the shoulder pads.
And the shoulder pads. And he was the first one to outline shoulder pads. Now this it's kind of amazing when you think about it. It's like how this football coach is innovating, all these things for the first time. But then when you consider that Rockne actually was the architect on the stadium, it just makes you just shake your head and go, wow.
Well, it's kind of mind-blowing because he had his hands in so many different parts of the football program. What kind of work day was structured around him? He probably didn't sleep.
He didn't sleep, which is why right before his death in 1930, the doctors were telling him, you've got phlebitis in your legs and you are at severe exhaustion right now that we don't even know why you're standing up. And they were telling him to step back. He was, not only was he turning Notre Dame into a national institution, as well as coaching the team on a full-time basis, he was also, for a while, Notre Dame's athletic director. When he first started out, he was the team's trainer, and which went into his medicine background, his chemistry background. He was the first trainer to put wet heat on a sprained ankle and get the guy up and walking to reinforce blood flow, knowing that. And he was also again, he wanted a bigger stadium, so he took University of Michigan Stadium and built his own. He literally built that stadium. The guy was amazing. I like to say Knute Rockne and Babe Ruth were the two seminal figures, in the 20s. Babe Ruth, the house that Ruth built, they called that the house that Ruth built just because Ruth sold tickets, because he was, but he wasn't in the same universe as Knute Rockne when it came to intellect and vision and just, Rockne was amazing. He was an amazing man.
Well, he had an impact on the physical game itself with the products, but coming from a media background, Knute Rockne really developed the way that the press box was organized, and really from a hospitality standpoint. Rockne would invite the Chicago media to come over and to cover the game, and a lot of the reporters were actually the referees. Walter Eckersall would come over, but Rockne wanted to make a pleasant experience, and so he wanted to make it easy on them. So the flip card, if you go to a football game and you're in the media, you'll get a flip card of the positions, the numbers, and the rosters, the hometown, all the information right there, developed by Knute Rockne. And of course, hospitality, because if you feed them, they're going to write favorably about you. So a hot dog and a Coke, and Knute Rockne came up with that as well.
Rockne was schmoozing press from New York to California, and all points in between. As a motivator, he's unquestioned. He was an unquestionable, just a fierce motivator. He would tell he would turn a thread of cotton into an entire wardrobe. For his team to go out, and they said, he'd give a halftime speech, and they would be ready to go out, and they'd be ready to run through the door for him. He used that same motivation in his speaking tours, which was another
hired by the Studebaker
Corporation as their national spokesman, and he would go to sales conventions and actually motivate sales crews for companies, like a general would to soldiers. I don't know how the man. Honestly, I read about his and I researched his health problems at the end. He was unbelievable. He had the body of a 90-year-old man, but he was still just full speed ahead.
And his impact is still being felt on the game today. And Jeff, is there anybody in today's era that might be in the spirit of Knute Rockne and making innovations in the game, or can anybody come to mind as who could be the modern day Knute Rockne? There can't be, because
sadly,
Rockne is an entity all to himself. The book is called As God's Witness, The Death of Knute Rockne. This is Jeff Harrell. I'm Len Clark of Irish 101. Coming up next on The Spirit of Knute, Jim Augenstein, Augie of Augie's Locker Room, to give us more insight in terms of memorabilia.
Irish fans, Augie back here. Just a few more things I wanted to show you and kind of show off that we have here at Augie's Locker Room. These are Rockne pieces. These could range from a Rockne bust to a Rockne Sportsmanship Award, Rockne bookend. Some people call these door stops. This piece is from the Rockne family, and we have obtained this many years ago, and we're going to feature most of these, and in fact I think we're featuring all of these on our website, augieslockerroom.com. They'll be up and going probably here in the next day or two, So go into the website to see these pieces. But these are beautiful because these busts, all of them date back. This one's 1927, 1931. This one is 1929, 30, 29. We're not sure. We're not sure of the date on these, but they certainly are a beautiful rendition in the caramel color. This one's on our website right now, I believe. So this one of brass appears to be a horseshoe. This piece here is highly sought after, and we've had people that have called to ask us if we had these, and we've had to tell them yes, we have these available, but the price scares them. You're looking at about $450, but again, these are very highly collectible and very rare. So if you have one of these in your collection, this is a beautiful piece. This what I call the horseshoe. And so Rockne and the horseshoe. So anyway, these are just a few items featured here at Augie's Locker Room. Augie'sLockerRoom.com will have these up and ready to go and sell in the next few days.